Welcome to the Riley Center at Southwestern Baptist Theological Seminary for a conversation with Michael Sorum. We're here at the Choices Expo, where parents and students have come to learn all about Fort Worth ISD's new programs of choice and schools of choice. And for this special conversation, students are at the roundtable.
Good afternoon, you guys. My name is Mike Sorum, and I'm from the school district from Fort Worth ISD, and we're here to talk a little bit about the Fort Worth ISD programs of choice. And I understand that all of you are 8th graders getting ready to go into high school, and that you might have some questions about what our options are here in Fort Worth with our programs of choice. So now's the time you could just ask anything that you're thinking about, or maybe some questions your friends might have, or some questions that your parents might have. One of the things that we'll do is we're going to take this tape that we make, or this video that we make, and then we'll be able to show it to other kids, other young people who might have questions about the programs of choice. So feel free to ask anything you want. I know you have some questions you've already thought about. So who wants to start?
Me. About the buses. If you get the gold choice and you don't live like anywhere near that, you know, maybe some buses don't have a schedule around there to that gold seal thing. Will we provide bus transportation?
Okay, Nicholas. Now, Nicholas, you go to Como Montessori, right?
Mm-hmm.
All right, so Nicholas's question is, do we have buses that will take you to one of the programs of choice if maybe it's in another side of town? And the answer to that is yes. They won't particularly come to your house, but they'll go to the middle school nearest to where you live. So, and then from that middle school, it'll take you to the high school. And there's no cost associated with that. It's just part of going to school. So yeah, you don't have to worry about where you live. If there's a school you want to go to, we'll get you there.
That's what we got like a couple years ago in the 5th grade about, I think it was the SIP program.
Uh-huh.
So it's like that same thing?
Yep, absolutely. Yep. Right, great question. That's another one.
I do.
Right.
How did you come up with this, and what was the thought process and how to put all of the these programs into the high schools?
Okay, Caitlin, that's a great question. You go to William James, right? Well, about 3 years ago, historically in Fort Worth ISD, we've had a lot of different programs of choice, or special interest programs, we called them. But not all of the high schools had them. So we talked to all of the high school principals and high school teachers, and we said, we want you to study the market. We want you to find out what are the careers of the future, what are the professions, what are the most interesting areas of study for students in college. And then we want you to look at who your natural partners are with your high schools, see which high schools have certain strengths that they're good at. And then we want you to come back to us, to the district, and name for us anywhere from 2 to 4 different programs. And those programs had to be things that were interesting to students, because they also had to survey all their students. They had to look at the job market, so that if it was a program that you went into training in or learned more about, we would know that when you graduated, there would be a job for you or a college track for you. And so then they came back and they proposed those for us, and that's how we came up with them. So hopefully they're all programs of choice that have great career opportunities, and there's also a lot of natural support already in the community for the programs. And now the schools, now that we've gotten started, they're hiring special teachers for the programs. They're getting partnerships with different hospitals, universities, restaurants, hotels, different industries, to make sure that there's a lot of real life things that make school interesting. It's not just going to be behind the book, you know. So hopefully you'll get out and learn really firsthand about the areas that you're interested in. Yeah.
Second question, does the Gold Seal program, does it take up like all of your schedule? Do we each have a specific schedule for Gold Seal if we were to go into it, or can we choose like to go into band and extracurricular?
That's a great question, Nicholas. Most of the Gold Seal programs of choice, your freshman year, it's only one class. So you still have a full range of your other classes to select from. So usually your freshman year, you take a principles class. So let's say you're interested in engineering. So you would take a principles of engineering class, then you would still have your electives, and then your core subjects, math, English, science, etc. So even this is one of your electives, but you still have another set of courses. Also, a lot of students that go into programs of choice have already taken some high school courses. Have any of you already taken algebra? Yeah, or English 1.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you're already ahead of the game, so you're going to have even more room in your schedule for taking other electives that you're interested in. Plus, high schools are now offering what we call a 0 period and then an after-school period. So there'll even be more opportunities. If you want to take an extra elective, you can stay for a period after school and take that elective class too. So yes, there's still a lot of opportunities for you to take the other things. Another thing kind of related to that is if you decide you change your mind, sometime like if halfway through the first year you say, I'm really not interested in engineering, I decided I'm more interested in something else. You're not stuck in that track for the rest of your life. We know that, adults and young people, we change our minds all the time. So there'll be options for you to transfer to a different program or to a different school or back to your home school if you decide you don't like the program of choice you went into. But we want you to look at all of these programs and then make sure to go into one you really like.
I have a question.
Yeah, Gustavo.
So if you apply for a program of choice, could you still take AP classes?
Absolutely. One of the ways we've designed our programs of choice is there's 3 different pathways within the program. So let's say you're interested in the aviation industry. So within the aviation industry, there's a whole different variety of jobs. You could be building airplane engines in a factory. You could be servicing airplanes at the airport. You could be flying the airplane, or you could be designing the airplane at Lockheed Martin or Boeing. And so each of those different areas within aviation has different requirements for skill levels. And so if you're interested in the design and the engineering one, then you would want to take AP Physics, you'd want to take AP Calculus. And so yes, that could be absolutely one of your regular classes. It's part of your program of choice. Out there also we have a lot of programs that have what's called dual credit. Do you guys know what dual credit is? Yeah? So you're going to your high school, whichever high school it is, but you're also at the same time enrolled in Tarrant Community College. So you're going to get college credits while you're still in high school. And then when you graduate, you'll already be, in some cases, you can already be a sophomore or junior in college when you graduate from high school if you go into a program of choice. So yes, you can still get your full AP courses and also dual credit courses. That's one of the reasons why we call it Gold Seal Program of Choice, because if you finish all the requirements for the program, you get a special gold seal on your diploma, which indicates, it shows which program you finished, but we also talk about it being gold as in money in the bank, because for every college credit you get in high school, every AP class you get a 3, 4, or 5 in, or every dual credit class, that's one less college class you have to pay for. And college is really expensive. Tarrant Community College is pretty reasonable, but if you're going to a private college, it's really expensive, thousands of dollars a credit. So you can save your family up to $40,000 or $50,000 by getting your Gold Seal Program of Choice courses. Another thing a lot of them offer is what we call a license or a certification. If you're like me, when I was in college, my parents didn't have a lot of money. So I had to work all the way through college. And if I had been able to go to a program of choice, I could have gotten a licensure or a certification so that in the summer while I was not in college, I could have been working, earning $18 or $20 an hour instead of minimum wage like I had to do. So even if you don't go in the advanced placement strands, you can get those licensures and certifications so that while you're in college, you can be earning 3 times the amount of normal money you'd earn in a college job. So it's a great deal, financially too.
Well, I was wondering, you mentioned the SIP program earlier.
Which one?
The SIP program?
Uh-huh.
Well, does the Gold Seal program kind of replace that, or is it still there?
She's asking about the SIP programs, which is what we call the special interest programs. All of the previous SIP programs still exist, but we've called it an evolution. We've changed them, evolved them into the programs of choice. So, for example, Eastern Hills High School has traditionally had a SIP program in law. Well, they now have a program of choice in law, and so it's pretty much the same thing. Or Northside High School had a SIP program in health careers, and Trimble Tech High School had a SIP program in a variety of different things. All of those programs are still there. They're just now part of the programs of choice. So it's just kind of a changeover, a brand change name, but it offers the same and even more in a lot of cases than we used to. So, yep.
And could you apply for more than one?
Yes, when you apply, that's a great thing to talk about the application process a little bit. In your book that you'll all get that describes all of the different programs, it tells you all about the application process. And then you can go to our website, the Fort Worth ISD website, and apply online. And when you apply online, it gives you several choices to apply for. I think you can make 3 choices. So we really want you to think carefully and apply to the 3 choices you're really interested in. And if the first choice fills up, then you'll be admitted to your second choice. And if for some reason that one filled up, you'd get your third choice. But most students get their first or second choice. But we really encourage you, don't just put down one choice, because if you only put one choice, you're out of the game. So let's say you live in my neighborhood, I live in the Arlington Heights neighborhood. Let's say I'm really interested in, let's say the fire science program at Eastern Hills High School. And so I only apply for the fire science program. If that fills up like it did last year, then I don't get to go to another program. Then I'll go back to my home high school of Arlington Heights. But if maybe I was also kind of interested in the health science program at Trimble Tech, it's too late because I didn't put that as my second choice. So that'll fill up with all the people who applied on time. So really tell all your friends, don't just put one choice. Put your second choice and your third choice. And then if you decide you don't want your second choice and you don't get your first choice, you can always go to your home high school. Everybody can always go to their home high school.
I'm Robin Elkins on the floor of the Gold Seals Expo, where Fort Worth ISD schools have gathered to show students what they've got. Are you excited to be here with all these schools in one place? Does it make your decision easier, not easier? What's your opinion?
Well, it makes my choice easier. I get to learn more about the school, see what more activities they do, what days I can visit.
If you had to pick just one, do you have any idea what it might be?
Yes, this one. So we're good. I want to go to this one because, it really has a passion into learning because I read the whole thing about it and online, and it was really good because I want to get into a school where you can actually learn and have fun while you're doing it.
Do you have any interests that you want to pursue that maybe one of these high schools are offering?
I'm interested in Arlington Heights because I'm interested in music, and I'm also interested in pastoral because I'm interested in education too.
Those have been some of the voices from the floor. Now let's head it back to the round table.
So let's talk a little bit about the online selection process. So you go online and you select, and there's you guys are all advanced. You've all had Algebra 1 already, right? Do you know what random selection means?
Yeah, lottery.
Yeah, lottery. It's just like you put everything in and you take one out. Okay, so we have a random selection lottery, but it's not totally random. You get the students in a homeschool area will always be able to get into their home school, into one of the programs or the regular program. And then if you have a brother and sister who's in a program, you also have priority into the program, if that's the one you want to go to. Then after that, everything else is just a random lottery. So it goes through and picks them out, and it makes a list from 1 to however many spots are available for that program. And then there's a waiting list after that, because a lot of students over the summer decide to change their mind or something. So if you don't get your first choice, you can go ahead and accept your second choice, and then if one of those others opens up later, maybe you can go back into your first choice. So make sure to always put a first, second, and third choice. Next. Yes.
If a student wanted to go to a high school and there was a student that lived closer to that high school, is there an advantage to entering into that high school? Like if somebody wants to go closer?
You're asking if you want to apply to high school, but somebody else lives closer to that high school, do they have more preference than you? It depends a little bit on where the boundary lines for that high school is. If you're both in that same attendance zone, then you both have the same priority into that. if that other person is in that attendance zone, they might not get into their program of choice because it might fill up, but they'll still be able to go to that high school. So let's go back to my Arlington Heights example. So if I live 2 blocks from Arlington Heights, if I really wanted to go to, let's say, we'll go back to the fire program at Eastern Hills, and let's say you live in the South Hills attendance zone, and you apply to go to the fire science program, but neither one of you get in it, the person who lives at Arlington Heights will still be able to go back to Arlington Heights, but you wouldn't normally be able to go back to Arlington Heights unless you put that as your second choice. Okay, does that kind of help? It's a little bit complicated, so, but it's very fair. It's very, there's no special selection process for certain people. That's one thing that really people worry about. So we want to give everybody a fair chance across the city.
So if you want to go to your home school, do you still have to apply for the Gold Seal program?
Okay, Sue's asked if you want to go to your home school, do you still have to apply to a Gold Seal program? The first thing to remember is that you can always go to your home high school. So you don't have to apply to Gold Seal to go to your home high school. Now, if you want to go into one of the specific programs at your home high school, you do have to apply for that. So if you live in Arlington Heights and you want to go in the agriculture program, you have to apply for the agriculture program. If you don't, then you'll just go into the regular school, but you still will be able to go to Arlington Heights. Is that clear? Does everyone understand that? So everyone can always go to their home high school, but if you want to go to a special program in that high school, apply for it. Okay? Yes, Jasmine? What if the program you want is not the high school you want to go to? Well, then you have to make a decision because we can't have all the programs in all of the schools. So sometimes I would go visit that school. You know, if it's something you're really interested in and maybe you don't know about that school or you're kind of nervous about it or you don't have friends there, go to that school when they have their open house night and you'll get to meet other students who'll be going there and you'll be able to see. And you can also go during the day, your mom or your dad or somebody in your family can take you to go visit that school so you can kind of get a feel for it and see if you like it or not. Because a lot of times we have an idea about a certain school in our mind, but we've never actually been there. So it helps to go visit the school and meet some of the teachers. And tonight you'll see a lot of the students and teachers here, so you can go around and talk with them and kind of see if you like it. And then I'd encourage you to go ahead and apply for it. And then if you get into it and after a few weeks it's just not you just don't like it, you can go back to your home school. So you're not stuck there for life. But if it's an area that you're really interested in, I'd really encourage you to give it a try and get to know the people a little bit. Okay, let's see. Gustavo.
What if you put down 2 choices for a high school, but later you decide you don't want to take one of those choices? What do you do then?
Well, it's important that you think really carefully and that you put your first choice first. Okay? And then if you don't get into that first choice, then you would have your second choice. You don't have to take that second choice. You can go back to your home school. So you always can go back to your home school. But if there's anything else you're interested in, I really encourage you to get that first, second, third choice. All right? Well, you guys have had some great questions. I didn't hear anything from you, Josh.
Oh, sorry. I was just wondering, when was the deadline for the applications?
Oh, the deadline. That's a great question. The deadline is January 13th. Okay? So we've got a little over a month, about a month and a half. And the schools are all going to be having open houses. Schools will be visiting. I encourage you to go visit them. And make sure you have that application in by 5 o'clock on January 13th. And do it electronically, because if you don't do it electronically, if you do it on paper, you got to come downtown, and it's really hard to park at the central office. And when you apply online, they automatically give you a proof, a confirmation number that you can print out. And you can apply at your school, you can apply from any computer, you don't have to be at home. But one thing I did want to tell you, you need your student ID number. Because when you log on to apply, it's going to ask you your student ID number. So that's really important. You can't finish your application without that. And if you don't know it, you can find it on any of your report cards. Okay? Well, you guys have had great questions, and I'm really I really appreciate you coming out on a Friday night. I'm sure you have other things you'd rather do, but I hope you'll go around and visit all of the different booths. The teachers are really cool and really nice. They brought a lot of students from the schools who are really nice. And you can just ask them anything you want to ask them, and that's what we're here for. So if you think of anything, we're going to put the number on the film. You can call that. You can check out the book, and you can look on our website where there are lots and lots of questions. There's also a film about every school, so you can go on and look about the different things that each of the schools is doing. So if you got anything else, you give us a call, and we'll answer any questions you have, and have any of your friends call. And even if they didn't come tonight, they can come to tomorrow, or they can still come to any of the visits and apply for the program. Okay? So give yourselves all a round of applause. Thank you so much. And you make us proud, so you're going to have a great time in high school. You're really going to love it. So thanks.
Hi, I'm Joey McReynolds, and I'm here on the floor of the Gold Seal Programs of Choice Expo, where we're going to go around and see what all the schools have to offer, making Fort Worth ISD one of a kind.
I think it's awesome. I mean, it gives the students and the parents a chance to see what every school offers, which is incredible. I mean, I can't believe each school offers all these different, a variety of opportunities for them to be successful, to get an idea about what they want to do for the future.
What do you think about this expo being here? It's all these schools with all these really cool programs under one roof.
It's great. It's very informative. We actually have a much clearer picture of where we want to send our son. He's got a lot of schools that he's interested in from tonight that we didn't even know existed. So it's really great, really informative.
I'm mainly interested in the culinary programs, which don't seem too abundant. There are only like 3 high schools that offer it, because I would like to get into culinary college and then go on to own my own restaurant.
I'm just glad it's here and it's available for us to be able to come out tonight.
Anything from you guys?
I'm just excited to go to the Young Women's Leadership Academy.
I really think I really think it would be a good educational school and really good to be at for young girls who like it.
And that's from the students and parents of only a few here at the Choices Expo. Now let's head back to the round table.
Okay, so we are here at the Expo Center looking at the Choices program. I'm Sharon Meng, and I am with
Paxton, Clayton, Anthony,
Jordan,
Serenity, Leslie.
Okay, and we are here to talk about the Choices program. All of you are in the 8th grade, right?
Yes.
And you're all here to decide what high school you want to go to. And I'm here to answer any questions that you might have. So, shoot.
I have a question.
Yes, sir.
On the application, what's the maximum amount of schools you can have?
3 is the maximum that you can have. Now, last year we had more than that, and what we found out is that people really weren't interested in anything beyond 3. So this year you have 3 choices. Okay.
What is the program choice I want is not at my high school?
Pardon?
What is the choice of program I want is not at my high school?
If it's not at your high school, that's okay. If it's not at your high school, you look for where the program is and you apply to where that program is. We will provide transportation. That's the whole point. If your high school doesn't have it, then you apply to the high school that does have it. Okay?
I have a question. Is there any way you can just go to a high school and earn college credits?
Yes. It is not necessary to be in a program of choice. If you don't want to be in a program of choice, you just go to your regular home high school, your neighborhood high school, and go to high school just like you always did.
I have a question. Can we apply for more than one program?
Yes, you can apply for 3. Yeah, but make sure that you're very careful about putting the one you really want to go to the most first, because a lot of programs will fill up with first choices and you may never get into the lottery for your second choice because it's full.
Is it better to choose 3 different schools as opposed to one school of 3, or does it matter?
My advice is always to choose the 3 that you really, really want to go to. You know, think about the program.
So if I don't get into my top 3 schools, do I get to apply to 3 more schools, or do I have to get my home school?
No, you go back to your home school. Now, if at the end of the first lottery, if there are spaces available, you know, there's still some program didn't fill, you can call our office and ask, are there any programs open, and we will tell you. But we will first service all the people that have had applied by the deadline.
After the first lottery, like we can call any program at all, or just ones?
You call our office, and we will tell you if there are spaces available in any program. We'll tell you what programs there have spaces.
Do we get to choose all of our classes?
Yeah, just like you always do. Yeah.
When's the deadline?
The deadline is January 13th. That's a Friday, and it's at 5 o'clock. Exactly 5 o'clock, and all the applications have to be in my office downtown. Now you can apply online, and that's probably the easiest way for you and for me. But if you don't apply online, there is a paper application, and you can mail it. But if you mail it, make sure it's going to get to my office by Friday afternoon. Okay? Some of the programs ask you to have extra paperwork. All that paperwork should come together. Okay? What else? The online application will be available at 8 o'clock Monday morning, this Monday morning. So you have weekend to think about it, and if you know what you want to do by Monday morning, go for it.
The college credits, like the college classes, are they transferable to every college?
Most of the college courses are transferable to all Texas colleges. Other states have rules, but generally speaking, they accept the credits that we're offering, the dual credit you're talking about. Yeah. All the Texas schools will take them, and most other high school colleges will take them.
Are there certain classes that will give us college credit?
Yes. There are a number of both AP classes and dual enrollment classes. And dual enrollment classes give you credit for high school and college at the same time. And then, of course, we have Marine Creek, which you start earning college credit from the time you're a freshman.
How does the application process work?
The application process works. You apply. You make sure if there are extra papers, you make sure they're all together, and you submit them all together. On January 13th at 5 o'clock, we close the process, and then we make sure everything is in order, and then there will be a lottery, and that's by computer. Nobody sees your application, nobody touches your application. It's simply by lottery, and that lottery produces a list. And then and however many spaces are available, we go right down the list. So you'll get a letter, and it'll say you got in, and then we'll ask you, do you want to go? And if you don't want to go, somebody else gets in. Understand?
What about AP classes? Are we still allowed to take AP?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. In fact, all the programs of choice have 3 trajectories. So you can be at a traditional trajectory, that's plain old high school. You can be at honors level, or you can be at AP level. And so that no matter what you're studying, you can have a degree of difficulty that you're comfortable with.
The college like Heights that has like the General Scholar program, can you be in that and another program?
You can take the courses for another program, but if you're in that program, that's the program you're in.
Will you still get certification and stuff for like getting to people?
It depends on what kind of certification you're talking about. Certification usually involves a sequence of courses that you have to take. So if you want to be something, there are usually 4 courses that you have to take over the course of your high school career, and then at the end of those 4 courses, you take some kind of a test. So if you can fit it in your schedule, you can do both, but most of the time, if that's what you're doing, you wouldn't be in a scholars program, because if you're in a scholars program, you're loaded up with AP classes usually.
When you get into a Gold Seal program, what if your interests change? Are you stuck in that program?
You can get out of the program at any time. We would like you to make a choice and stick to it, of course, but oftentimes you think you like something, you get into the second year and you find out, this is not really what I thought it was. You can get out.
If we have enough high school credits, can we start taking college courses?
Yes, dual enrollment courses, we certainly recommend that you do that. Absolutely.
Will transportation be provided?
Transportation is provided. It is not house-to-house transportation, however. So you may have to go to maybe your neighborhood elementary school to get picked up. It may be at your street. It really depends. They try to work it out, but probably the worst case scenario is you would have to go to your middle school and get picked up from middle school.
If you live in, say, Southwest area, and you want to go to Heights, and you go to Heights with your athletics, and you get a transfer back to another school, what happens to your athletics?
When you, as a freshman, and this is true for all transfers, as a freshman, the minute you set foot on a high school campus, you have declared that campus your home school. So for eligibility purposes, if you transfer to another school, you have to wait 1 year before you can play varsity. Now, for most people at the freshman level, that's no big deal. But for some it is. I mean, there are some freshmen who are good enough to play at the varsity level, so you have to think about that.
The campuses like Diamond Hills, I think they say it doesn't offer the music or the band or the place, but has clubs. What's the difference?
That's because that particular program is at Marine Creek campus, which is at the junior college. Those students don't go to school, the college campus, and that's why there's no band and there's no athletics for them.
Tabs as well?
Tabs as well. Yeah, they're going to have curricular programs, but they can't compete. Yeah.
As a freshman, can you be involved in athletics?
You absolutely can, just not at the varsity level.
I have a question. If you go to high school 1 year and decide to transfer to Heights next year, and you're in their academies where you can earn college credits, can you transfer and then keep your original schedule? The same?
It would be very similar. There's a core of academic classes at all the high schools. Some schools offer more higher academic courses than others, but certainly if you transferred after your freshman year, you would not be in any kind of real jeopardy because you'd be so early in your curriculum.
Or let's say if somebody doesn't get accepted, can they, when they're in high school, can they apply to the programs again?
Most of the time, the programs will be filled. Now, if a seat becomes available later on, sure. But what we have seen this first year is that the programs get filled with freshmen, which is the intent, because it's a sequence of courses.
If you're a sophomore, can you jump straight into a sophomore class?
There's a seat. It has to be a seat. Yeah.
When you have your top schools you want to go to, so you get accepted to your second choice school, are you put on a waiting list on the first?
Yes, you are. You are on a waiting list for your first choice, and we will call you right up through November and ask you what you want to do, because it's not our choice, it's yours. Anything else?
If we apply online, do we have to provide a report card?
In most cases, you don't need a report card anymore. We're really trying to facilitate the application online. It's easier for us and it's easier for you.
If you don't have an essay or a report card, does that just mean anybody can?
Anybody who's eligible to be a freshman. And that's really our intent in most of these programs. There are a few programs that, because of the way they're funded or because of the kind of courses that you're going to have to take the next year that do require that. For example, at TABS, there's a number of math and science courses that you really have to take, so that we'll need to see the report card to make sure that you could do that. But at most of the schools, if you really want to do something, regardless of what you did the first 8 years, if you really want to do something, you can do it.
Are there a certain amount of credits that you need to pass each grade?
If you want to be considered a sophomore, you have to have at least 6 credits. If you want to be a junior, you have to have 12. No, I said that backwards. But anyway, it's 6, 12, 18. You have to have 18 credits before you can be a senior. And that's because mathematically, there's no way you could graduate at the end of your senior year if you didn't have 18 to start out with.
Question. If you're taking free AP classes like algebra offered to your high school?
They are on your transcript. Now they're not in your GPA, but they are on your transcript and they count. That's a very good thing to do. If you can do that, that's a good thing to do.
I also have another question. What's the maximum number of applicants accepted into every school?
Each school determines their own, and that's by capacity of the school and of the program. So if my program is something that requires a certain kind of equipment, for example, as the principal of that school, I would look and say, okay, how many students can I put in this room over 4 years? Because you have to think about the next year, the next year, the next year. And then you set your capacity, and that's how many. And sometimes it's just building capacity. So if you're in a scholars program, for example, you know how many children you can have in that program. So it's not artificial. It's really based on how many students can we serve in this program.
Do all high schools provide calculus classes for senior year?
They should. It's really a function of the children in the school. If you are a senior and you sign up and there are at least 10 or 12 other seniors in your school who want calculus, then the school will offer it. If you're in a school where there are not enough, the district will provide that. We have some off-center sites where you can get that course. You will be able to take it. And certainly it is our wish that you will be able to take it where you go to school, because that's easier. But it's absolutely a function of how many children in your school want that course. And that's true for anything. You might say, well, why do some schools offer Japanese and another school doesn't? Well, it depends on how many students in that school want to take that course. If there are enough, then they offer it.
I have a question. Like, you know how it goes, Algebra 1, Algebra 2, English? Mm-hmm. Do you get 1 credit for each of those?
Yes.
That's the same way like world language and stuff?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, each year is a full credit. Now, there are some courses that are half credits, but like English and math and science and social studies, particularly now for you because there's an end of course exam, those are awarded at the end of the year, and you have to pass the semesters and you have to pass the exam, and then you get 1 credit for each one. Yeah, it's something that is very different than middle school, because in middle school you average them together, which this is different.
What's the minimum amount of years you take a world language?
I'm sorry?
What's the minimum amount of world languages you can take in high school?
If you want to graduate on a recommended or a distinguished, you have to take 3 years. But it's possible to take as many as 5.
Also, we are taking Spanish currently. Will our credit be transferred over?
Yes.
And we'll start at another level class?
Yes. Your credit will come with you on your transcript, and you will start at a higher level. In fact, we have some native speakers who start at level 4 in high school because they've taken the exams.
So in middle school, say you have half a year Spanish, and another year half credit for like 1. So your freshman year, you already start off with 1 credit?
And usually the way it works in middle school, it takes you 2 years to get 1 credit. So you would come to high school with 1 credit of foreign language, you would begin at level 2. That's a very good thing to do as well if you can.
And we took keyboarding in middle school where we get half a credit?
No, that's a middle school course now. But what you have done is get rid of your prerequisites so you can grow right into a CTE course. That's really today almost something everybody has to do, You can't play with your keyboard or your phone without knowing how to do that.
The lady came to our school and made us fill out a high school schedule.
Yes.
What, can we change that?
Absolutely.
It's
Yes, we understand that you really don't know what we want to do 5 years from now. But what we wanted you to do is start thinking about it. So that 6-year plan that you filled out in middle school, every single year your counselor will sit down with you and say, is this still what you want to do? Is this still what you want to do? But it's exactly the same thing that you will do when you go to college. You got to think about, okay, where do I want to wind up with? What do I have to take to get there? And then you look at it every year and say, am I on track? Did I mess up somewhere? Is this still what I want to do? So it's just a plan. Think about it as it's written in pencil. You can always erase. Okay, any last questions? We're about out of time.
In high school, can your counselor be your sponsor for any sports that you have?
Your counselor? It's pretty rare for a counselor to be a high school coach because athletics at high school is pretty competitive. It happens. I mean, I have in my career had a counselor who coached basketball for me, but it's not very common. Counselors are pretty busy.
I mean, financial?
Oh, absolutely, yeah, sure. In fact, they are supposed to be helping you with finances. Absolutely, yeah.
Does each high school have a amount of scholarships funded?
A lot of high schools have scholarships that are particular to them because some alumni said, I want to leave money to somebody who went to this school. A lot of other scholarships are available through the district. Your counselors at your high school will be able to give you all of that information, and you should always be thinking about that because every year there's scholarship money that doesn't get taken. So you need to find out if you're available. Okay, well, if anybody has any questions, we ask you to go to the website, fortworthisd.org/choice, or you can call the office at 817-814-2580. Okay, thank you very much, all of you, for your questions and your participation. Good job.
So first of all, what is this Gold Seal Program of Choice Expo? It's all these programs under one roof, and it really makes it unique. How does all this get together?
Yeah, it's great to have them all here so we can exhibit everything that we have. It's important that our parents as well as our kids understand the types of things that Fort Worth ISD has to offer. I think it's a great opportunity here to investigate all the opportunities that we have in front of us here. I think an important issue here too is looking at the programs that offer licensures and also college credit. So it's very important to have everybody here.
And you said college credit, and that's a huge deal. I mean, a lot of students are making that transition from 8th grade into high school, and these programs help them make that transition from high school into college. How do you think that really helps out the students?
It really helps out the students because it really gives them a head start. Just to give an example, my own child entered college with 19 college hours. So it means a lot not only to the child that's going on to college to graduate and graduate on time, but it also means a lot to the families too in the financial crisis that we're in to have that ability. And a great opportunity here that we partner with Tarrant County Junior College and others to get those college credits.
Now, how does having this expo here, how does it give that much more exposure and publicity for the programs?
Oh, wow. It's a great opportunity, a great thing for exposure because one of the things is we can do things that all we want to in pamphlets and books, but unless you can actually physically experience it, it makes a world of difference the way people view it and the way they see it and to see the opportunities that are here. And I think every single school here has its program here on display. Every type of program within the school is here on display. So when they walk away, they should have a lot of questions answered for them in the years to come for any program they'd like to be interested in.